Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is another presentation from www.central-mos.com and from the Humble Heart YouTube channel about CCD and CMOS Moonsighting, how to fool millions cheaply and easily. If you're having trouble keeping up with me, simply switch on subtitles or closed captions, and the button looks like this in the video. The subtitles are also available in German, so you can switch them on in German as well. You can submit subtitles for your language by sending me an email on www.central-mosque.com. The Saudi scholars don't force their moon sighting upon those outside of Saudi Arabia. Link is in the description. However, a number of our sincere brothers and sisters are forcing Saudi moon sighting upon us outside of Saudi Arabia. So we have no choice but to address the issue from the Quran and the Sunnah, and also from science. This sort of presentation is usually unnecessary. We just wish to follow the Sunnah, and what someone else does with their life is their business. There would be no reason for these videos if we were not forced or derailed from the path of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's ample technical evidence to suggest that moon sighting is being done in Saudi Arabia using CCD and during the day, i.e. before sunset, or both together, or one of the other. Link is in the description. The subtitle of this presentation is a joke, as fooling others or deception is haram or impermissible in Islam. My intention is to provide information to ulama and Muslims alike so that it can be spotted and avoided. So with due respect, I begin. I've been fortunate enough to be part of many moon sighting systems from various countries, and they have some common aspects as follows. Moon sighting is organized throughout the country. Someone sights the moon. The scholars are notified. The scholars verify the testimony, and the testimony is confirmed, and a public decision is made. All of this takes time and coordination. However, within minutes of sunset in Saudi Arabia, the decision's already on social media. I'm saying it based on my 17 years experience. Within minutes of sunset in America, Britain, Canada, and Australia, the imams and the mosques announce it. They've already made the decision previously and just wait until sunset to give you the impression that they're trying to sight the moon. If you know this within a few minutes of sunset and you've experienced it and cannot wrap your mind around the issue that this is a problem, or your brain cannot process this error, this video will be too technical for you. You failed the test. Please stop watching this presentation immediately and do something else with your life. So how to spot deception in moon sighting? You have to be experienced in actual moon sighting and know what it's like and how it is done. You need to have in-depth knowledge of astronomical data and how to interpret it, and not just look at pretty colored graphs and forward it via WhatsApp. Someone like Mufti Amjad Muhammad, who was a scientist for 10 years and his entire background was data analysis, etc., cannot be fooled very easily. There's a difference between a photo and an image. You would understand this if you've ever been to a doctor in your entire life. If the doctor wants to look at your bones or your inside, they send you for imaging. They don't send you next door to put a few coins in a machine and get a picture taken. This is a picture of a hand. This is an image or x-ray of a hand. This is simple and straightforward. By the way, this x-ray also shows a fractured hand, so if you can spot the fracture, pat yourself on the back and apply to your nearest hospital to get a job as an x-ray technician. Bravo, great job. This is a good quiz for you. You can come back, pause this, and observe this x-ray, inshallah. This is an old man walking on the road, and there's a car coming towards him. This car is the object. He can put on the glasses, look at the car, making the car clearer. He can use the binocular, making the car clearer. He can use the telescope to look at the car if it's too far away, making the car clearer. He can use the camera to take a picture of the car. All are permissible for moon sighting, because if you switch all electronics off, even take the batteries and look through the viewfinder, you will still see the object, which is the car. These devices just make the object bigger and clearer. they simply magnify what you can see from your own eyes. By the way, I know your glasses don't have batteries, but you get my point. In CCD charge coupled device, light is converted to charge. The charge is then collected. It is then converted to voltage. Then this voltage is amplified and the image is created and enhanced. Your eye does not and cannot see the original object at all. Binoculars cannot see the original object at all. Telescopes cannot see the original object at all. It is an electronically generated image of the original object based on voltage and charge. So how do you sight the moon during the day using CCD? By the way, I forgot to mention that there isn't any major fatwa that moon sighting by CCD is permissible, because there's unanimous consensus that CCD imaging isn't looking at the original object. Think of it as looking at a picture rather than the object. Back to the topic. Firstly, the sun is too bright in the middle of the day, so you need a solar filter in front of your camera or telescope. This filters out the bright rays of the sun, so you can then see objects which would normally be hidden due to bright sunlight. Baader in Germany makes the best quality, but you can buy material on eBay and make it yourselves very cheaply. You need this filter, otherwise you'll not see anything during the day, and the lens of your telescope or camera will be damaged in a few minutes due to intense heat being generated by the bright light of the sun. Secondly, the light falls on CCD device which has millions and now even billions of sensors. In common terms, you can call these pixels. So when the light falls or hits these pixels convert the incoming light into charge. I'm showing it to you by these dots. These are actually charges. Thirdly, remember from your school days that charge travels. So the charge begins to travel horizontally. In this picture, I'm showing you that the charge has gone from this column to this column, and it keeps on moving until the end. Then it gets to the end, and now it travels vertically. I'm showing you that in a simple way that the charge is coming out of the wafer. I hope you understand that nothing actually physically drops out of a camera or device. This charge then gets converted to voltage. Voltage gets amplified. Imagine being in a mosque and the imam prays without the loudspeaker. When you switch on the loudspeaker, the sound is amplified. Amplifier just makes things bigger. Image is created, enhanced, and presented to you. Once again, your eyes, glasses, binoculars, telescopes, or your DSLR will never ever see the object. It is impossible. CCD is a computer-generated image based on voltage of electricity. CCD was old technology. Now we have CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. It is similar in operation, but as of now in 2020, of lesser quality, but much cheaper. In the near future, I believe the CMOS will become the default, as image quality will get better and CMOS is cheaper and easier to make anyway. A few years ago, CCD was in monochrome, but now we have plenty of CCD color cameras. However, this isn't true color or HD images which you see on your TV or phone screens. How color CCD works is another technical subject which I'm going to skip in this presentation. Cheap CMOS devices are easily available and give you color images. You can pick up the ZWO Optical ASI 120MC color CMOS camera, put it in front of your telescope, and start fooling people for about £184 from Amazon. Finally, this is an actual picture of Ramadan 1441 from Germany, and this is the CCD image of Ramadan 1441 moon. If you didn't understand anything technical in this presentation, you can look at the image and clearly tell which one is CCD and which one is the actual picture. CCD image is also clearly labeled. In the near future, I believe that deception will go to the next level, where people will stop labeling CCD images or modify the image using Photoshop and present it to you as a picture. This technology is easily available today, and this can be easily done. The solution is in the Quran and the Sunnah. Our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said to abandon what puts you in doubt and stick to local moon sighting under the guidance of trusted ulama. In the Hanafi madhab, moonsighting is preferred to be done by masses, i.e. a large number of people, so the element of deception is removed. In many parts of the world, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, still to this day a large number of people go out and try to sight the moon, so deception by a single grainy image isn't possible. In other words, nobody can present a single grainy image and ruin the obligatory acts of worship by deception of millions. The solution is Sunnah and inviting masses towards Sunnah. When a large number of Muslims follow the Sunnah of moonsighting, nobody will fall for grainy images or announcements within a few minutes of sunset. Importantly, you will have no need to learn about CCD technology to guard your obligatory acts of worship during Ramadan. In the end, let me summarize. Your glasses, binoculars, telescopes, or camera make the image of an object clearer, or capture the image in case of a camera. Your eyes can see the original object. In case of CCD, the image is generated using a voltage. Your eyes, your glasses, your binocular, your telescope cannot see the object. It is impossible. In very simple and crude terms, you're looking at the picture of the object and not the picture. In April 2020, all ulama agreed that CCD images for moon sighting is not valid to be used for the declaration of Islamic months. But this can only happen if the ulama are told. If you simply tell the ulama that have sighted the moon and there's no scrutiny or investigation of the sighting, then the issue remains hidden. This is a serious problem. We don't just need to know that the moon has been sighted, we also need to know where and how it was sighted. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.